Alright guys, so if you want to learn JavaScript, I think this is the best project you can build. It takes a URL, creates a video for you based on this URL. So it goes to this article or page or anything, it reads the article, it creates a summary, then it creates some B-roll images, then it also adds text-to-speech and transcription for those texts, and then it creates a video. So now let me show you how it works. So I will take, for example, this article and I will put this here, and now it's generating assets, and we can see behind the scenes it opens a browser, it creates a summary, then it puts this into 3 text files to 3 parts. Then for each part it creates a B-roll image. Then we have also voiceover files, so everything that is said inside those text files, we have voiceover for those parts. And then for this voiceover, we even get transcription, so we can show the text on top of the video. And now it's preparing the video, so it's putting together all those images, MP3 files, and the text on top of it. And then we will get a final video with the images, the voiceover, and the text on top of it.
What makes Ginger Tomcats so adventurous? An Essex-based cat behavior expert explains why feline redheads appear more confident and friendlier than other cats.
So for this project, we are going to use React for our frontend alongside with Tailwind CSS to style it a little bit. For backend, we are going to use Express.js for our backend API, GPTScript to communicate with OpenAI to generate some assets like images, summary, stuff like this. And then we are going to use ffmpeg library to put everything into one MP4 video file. So now I hope your coffee is ready. Now let's jump into building this amazing project. Alright, so as always we start with an empty directory. Here, as you can see, mine is vid URL AI, because we are going to build a project that will convert a URL to a video with help of AI. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I will create actually 2 projects inside, because, well, not 2 projects, but 2 directories, because we are going to use MERN stack today and not Next.js. So MERN, which is Mongo Express React Node. I don't know if we will need Mongo database for it, but basically we are going to have 2 directories, one for backend API, which will be our Express, and the other directory, the other part, will be our React front. So let's start by creating maybe a directory for our backend. Let's do backend, and you can call them however you want. Some people do like backend and frontend, others do like API and, I don't know, front, or API and client. The naming convention is up to you. So I have backend, and here I will have like my Express app and Express.js app. And now I will also create a frontend, but for this I'm going to use Vite. So I will do something like this. I could do npx create, or maybe let's see how they do this. So let's go to guide, getting started, and I want to do React with TypeScript. I don't want to open it. I want to scaffold an app like this. So let's do bun create Vite. I'm using bun. I'm not using npm or yarn or pnpm, and that's because npm is the oldest one and the slowest one, but still the most popular. I was using yarn like many times because it was much faster, fixed a lot of problems with npm, like with log file and so on. Then we have pnpm, that I think I used in some projects, and it's even better than yarn because pnpm has much better memory management, disk management, because when it installs your packages, it links to the packages instead of installing them again. So all our packages are only in one place on your disk, and then it will just link to those existing packages instead of having the same package in many projects. So this is good if you want to save space on your hard drive. And then there is ban. Ban, it's I think it's built completely different, and it's the fastest way. It's the fastest way to install packages and to run Node scripts. So it doesn't use Node.js like those other three do. I think this one is written in Rust or something like this. And I just use it because it's fast, and the command line is the same as for npm. So I will do ban create white and with, sorry, they say it's with. And let's see, project name. Here I will put frontend because this will be the directory that will be created. Frontend, let's hit enter. And now they ask us what type of framework we want to use. And I will pick React, and I will do TypeScript. And it's done. So now we have, let's see, here we have frontend, and this took like a millisecond maybe to put all those files here inside. And now, of course, we don't have any npm modules here inside, but let's go to inside this frontend directory. So let's do cd front, cd frontend, and now let's do ban install to install all of the node modules. And now it's installed here. So we have our node modules inside the frontend. So that's good. Now let's see what we have inside here. app.css, app.tsx, and so on. Now we could probably start this React app, but before I will do this, I want also to get Tailwind CSS. So let's go to Tailwind CSS because it will be easier for me to do styling. Instead of going and doing some styling inside the CSS file, I want to do Tailwind CSS. It's faster because you don't need to change to different files, and we will not have that much of styling in this project. So let's go to framework guides, and here we have actually Vite. And let's see, we already created our React project, and now we need to install all of those. So as you can see there, they have example with npm install, but basically I can probably do the same thing with ban because it's like drop-in replacement. And let's hit now enter. And as you can see, it has been installed. Now let's try this. I don't know if I can do ban run. Yeah. And now we have tailwind config JS somewhere here. Yes. And now we need to edit this one and apply this for the content part. So here, content, this. Nice. So we have this. And now inside source index CSS, we need to put this source index CSS here. I will just get rid of those defaults and I will just put this. Now we have this app.tsx, a lot of HTML here inside. So I will just get rid of this. I will put a div that will say hello, or maybe test. I always do test. Let's do hello this time. We don't need any state for now, or logos, or anything. So, and we don't need this app CSS. So I can probably delete this one. So let's do delete on app CSS. Index CSS, we need to import it. Yes. So let's go to app, or it's already imported here. Yes, it's already imported inside main TSX. So we have hello here. Now let's try to run this app. So here I open back my terminal, and I will have here several tabs open from our terminal because we are going to have our front end running, our back end running. So I will rename this tab. I don't know if your editor has it, but I will put here front end so I will know what is what. But here I will just do bun, and let's try dev, and now it works. So we have this front with this port. Let's try to open it. So I will select this and let me copy this, and let's open it here. And we have hello. Let's hide this terminal and let's try to see if our Tailwind works. So let's do background and let's do maybe this. Yeah, it works. So now the first part of our project will be building a homepage. So we will have like a nice header, an input form, and nice button, maybe here some hero section or a video or something, a box for a video. So let's start with this. I will hide my sidebar, and now let's see. The first thing we are going to need here is we will need a headline, then maybe some paragraph, and then a form. So let's do a headline and generate a video from a URL using power of AI. Yeah. And now here I will just put lorem ipsum, just some random text here underneath, and that looks nice. Under this paragraph I want to have an input of type, can we have type URL? Yes. And I think I will put this inside the form. So let me put this input here, and we will need to have a button of type submit, and create, it will say create video. Right, so we have an input here, and let's add maybe a placeholder, https and ... Let's see. Yeah, this will work. Now let's style this header, this paragraph, and this form. Let's add some color. So let's go to first I will actually go to index.css, and I will define some defaults here. So for the body, I want to have this page to be black. So I will do background, and I will do black. Actually, I could do the same with apply and use Tailwind classes, but I'm not doing this because I want also to add a gradient here, and it will be easier for me with regular CSS. So I want here to have a linear gradient, and default will be this color. But for this gradient, I want to first do RGB color of 7, 57, and 64. It will be like greenish, and this will start at 0%, so from on the beginning, and then we will have black, and it will start at like 40% of the page. All right, and now I can use Tailwind classes because the rest of CSS will be much simple. And I will do text white, for example. Now we have something like this, and I need to stretch this. So I will do here a minimum height of view device view height. And now it's stretched, so we have this gradient only once, it doesn't repeat. This looks nice. Now I want to style those headers, this text here, and this input, of course, and the button. And here I will have a box to present the generated video. So let me go back to app.tsx, and now let's see. Let's start maybe with our header. So let's do, or actually before we will style the header, as I told you, I want to have the header, maybe it will go to 2 lines, then the text paragraph, and then we will have the form. And on the right side, I want to have a video, a preview or a sample or something like this. So we will have 2 sides, left and right. And I also want everything to be centered, like in a centered box. So to do this, I will put everything into one main element here, HTML element, and inside here I will have 2 divs, first div and second div. Now here I will put something like this. Let me think. I will make this one centered. So let's add some class names. Let's add max width of XL. All right, and MX auto, so it will be centered. And we need to have flex, so it will have one div on the left side and the second on the right side. Now let's see, we have left and right, and it's kind of centered. So it probably starts here and ends somewhere here, this main element. Now instead of left, I'm going to put this h1 paragraph and form. So let me put this here, and yeah, kind of works. Well, now right doesn't have that much of space because we are using flex. I think instead of flex, we are going to use grid, and I will put grid columns of 2. So we'll have 2 columns with the same width. As you can see, now we have left is here and then the right is here. So more or less. Now for the right, I will put for now a gray box. Later we will change this to a video, but for now I'm going to put a div with some class names like background gray 200, and let's add a width of 720 pixels and height of 1080 pixels. Let's see. I think this is too big. Yeah. So let's divide this by 2. So this will be 360 if I'm correct, and let's do 512, something like this. And let's put maybe A here. Okay, so here I see my div here. I forgot about P, so now it's more correct. I think I want to make this even smaller, so let's do maybe here 240 and here 480. Yeah, this will work. Maybe this could be even smaller. I don't know. Let's see. Let's maybe try with 380. Yeah. Let's maybe make this centered, and let's add some gap between columns. So let's add gap of 4, and let's add some spacing inside this one. So here I want to add some class names like padding of 8, something like this. Yeah. So now same padding on this one. So let's do padding of 8, and now we probably don't need this gap of 4. And now let's style this header. So for the header, we want this to be super big. Let's do text for XL. Yeah, generate the video from URL using power of AI. And I want this to be bold. So let's do bold. It's font bold. Yeah, this looks nice. And maybe the right column shouldn't be as big as the left, so I will change this back to flex. So now let's see, we have something like this, and let's see if I do inspect. Yeah, I would say this looks fine. Maybe we can decrease the padding, or maybe we can change that the padding will be only on the top and the bottom, and we'll add a little bit of padding, like 4 on the left side, or maybe not on the sides. Here we can add padding on the sides. Padding on X will be 4, right? So now this has even some padding on the sides. Maybe we can make it a little bit wider. Let's do 4XL. Let's see. That's too much. Let's do 2XL. Yeah, I think this will, this looks really good. Generate the video from URL using power of AI. I think this is maybe too long. So let's maybe do URL to video, and then let's break line here using power of AI, or with power of AI. Yeah, this looks nice. And now we want to have some spacing here, and let's maybe do uppercase on those letters. So let's do uppercase, and let's add margin bottom of at least 8. So we'll have some spacing here. And now we have URL to video with power of AI. So that looks really much nicer. Then we have this text here. I'm not sure if we actually need this. Maybe I will get rid of this for now. So no paragraph here. And now we have this form. So, so for the form and the input, we need to add some styling. I think that for the input, let me put this type here, and here I will put class names. For the input, I'm going to do background transparent, and let's add the text white, and I want to add some border here. So let's do border and rounded corners of, let's do maybe medium, or maybe let's do full, and let's see how this will look like. Yeah, now we need some padding and fix the border. Let's make the border a little bit bigger, like 2. Now padding on the sides, it will be 4, on the top and the bottom, it will be 2. Let's see. Yeah, I think this looks nice. And now the button. Will be nice maybe if we could make the button like something like this, right? To do this, I'm going to remove the border from here and round, and I will put this on our form. So here, class names, let's do this. And now we have something like this, and the button is here, and the input is here. So this is nice. For the create video, maybe we can make the create video button white. So let me see. Let's put this here, and this here. So we have more space for class names. Let's do background of white and text of black. Let's see. Yeah, except we want the button to take the whole width. So for the form, I'm going to put flex. Let's see. Yeah, it kind of worked. But it doesn't take this space here. Let's see why. If I do inspect here, we can see that on the form, the children inside form don't take the full width. So to fix it, I will add that this input will grow automatically. And now it kind of works, but we want to fix that nothing overflows outside of the form. So let's do overflow hidden. Now it's better, but we want to add some padding to the buttons, to the button. So let's do maybe on the sides, let's do 4. And now this looks better. It breaks to 2 lines. To fix it, I'm going to do no breaking space here in between. Create video. I think this looks nice. But I'm not sure if I like this white color and having this form in one border like this. So sorry, but I'm going to change it. Let's put the border rounded full back to the input. So let's put this here. Yeah, and for the button, I'm going to use some different color similar to this one. So let's do tailwind colors, and I want to use maybe this emerald 500. So let's do background emerald 500. Let's see here. Yeah, this looks nice, and the text should be white, of course. So text should be white, and this looks nice. Now the colors of this button are all right. We want to have rounded corners, so let's do rounded full. Let's add some gap here inside this flex between the input and the button. Gap 2. I think this looks fine. And yeah, maybe we could put this button underneath. I don't know. If we change this to grid, then it will be underneath. Create video. But we should put more spacing here. So let's do maybe 2. Yeah, I don't know if this is better. This works fine. And we don't need this overflow hidden anymore here. Yeah. So this looks nice. Maybe we can decrease the spacing here. We have here 8. Let's do 4. And yeah. Now I would like this first part, URL to video, to be a little bit bigger than the rest. So I'm going to cut this and put this inside the span. And for this span, I'm going to make the text even bigger. So let's do text, and let's try with a 6XL. And we have something like this, URL to video. That's too big, let's do 5. Yeah, I think this looks perfect now. And we could maybe make this different, a little bit different color. I don't know. We have now all of this. It would be nice to center it to be in the middle, all of this text and the form. So for this div that holds the left side, I will make it flex, but now everything will be next to each other. I will add flex column, flex col. I think this will fix it. Yeah, now it's flexed in column. And now I want to do items center. No, this is not what I wanted. Let's see, justify center. I think this is what I want. Yeah. So now this looks better, and would be nice with maybe a paragraph here in between. I don't know. Let's try to fix now the rest. Here we have this A for the right side. Let's maybe fix it a little bit. So here I want to make it, let's add rounded corners. Video here. And let's do text will be at least gray, 500, rounded large. So, or maybe let's do 2XL. So it will be like a lot of rounded corners here. And let's add some padding of, let's do maybe 8. So we will have like video here. And so we can present a video here. Now I have a feeling that it's not centered. So let's see, we have the main thing here, and I think it is centered as it could be. The video could be maybe, the video box could be maybe centered to the right side. I don't know. Yeah, let's get rid of this padding here. And instead, let's put some gap here for our flex. Let's make sure we will have some gap in between those. And we need to have some padding on the top and the bottom on the right side. So now let's see. Yeah, but I don't see any gap. So let's see. We have flex here, but this is only left side. This doesn't do anything. Here I want to have gap of 8. Now let's see. Yeah, I think now this is perfect. Now maybe it would be nice to put here some colors. So to do this, I will actually I will cut this with power of AI, and I will put a span here, and I will apply some colors here. So let's do maybe a background, gradient, and now we have all of those, and I want to do two bottom right, yeah, and let's do from purple, let's see, or maybe let's do from this emerald 500, and let's do maybe two sky 500. Now let's see, we have something like this. Now I want to put those colors on the text, so I will do something like this. Background, clip, text, and now let's see, nothing have worked here. But if I do text transparent, let's see, yeah, now I can see this looks really nice, right? Maybe we could put the color on this text as well. I don't know, we can try. So let me copy this to this span, and now I have something like this, but maybe we can make it like brighter. So let's do from emerald 300 to sky 300. Yeah, this looks nice, but I think the white text was better here on the top. So I will keep this white for now. This one could be a little bit lighter. So let's do from emerald 300 to sky 500, 300 also. And I don't know if I see enough of the colors, so I will push it a little bit. So let's do from 30%, and now let's see. I don't know if this changed anything, but it moved the gradient 30% more to the right, so we'll see more of the left color. Yeah, I think this looks nice. Now for the button here, I want the text to be uppercase, yeah, this looks fine. Right, so I think now we can go to the next step, which would be that when I do something here, when I put a link, and let's do maybe Google.com, it will create a video for it, right? The most important part of this project. Well, to do this, we will first go to CNBC to get some articles to generate videos for, but I can close now this and this tailwind and even those colors. But this will work like this, that let's say I want this article, let me copy the link, I put it here, I click this create video, and it creates me a video with images, voiceover, and the text, like, you know, for the TikToks or YouTube Shorts or something like this, or Instagram Reels. So I want the AI to go here, read this article, and create like a 1 minute summary of this article, and then create some images for it. Like we can split the summary to 3 parts and then create 3 images for it. And then for the summary, for this text, I want to generate a voiceover, and then I want to put the images and the voiceover together to create a video. And then I also want to put transcription on it. So for example, let's say here, the 10 worst states to retire in the US. And let's say, okay, like 1 minute summary would be, don't retire in California or something like this because something blah blah blah, and it would generate image of, I don't know, California or something like this, and then we will have summary, and then we will have of course voiceover and the subtitles or the text on top that you usually see on TikToks and Instagram shorts or reels and YouTube shorts. So this will be the next part of this product. And for this, we are going to use our backend, of course. For now, it's empty. We are kind of done with our frontend, and now we need to do the backend and the magic with AI. So for the backend and all of this magic, we are going to use a tool called GPTScript. And what this does is that we can convert regular commands, like regular text commands, to actual tasks for AI. So here we have an overview. Here you have how to install it. I actually already installed this to test it out and to see how many awesome things we can do with it. So we have like for Windows, Mac OS or Linux. So you just need to follow those commands to install it. Now for the examples, you can see what can be done with it. So for example, you can build a tool that says you are a helpful DevOps assistant that is expert in the digital ocean. Using the tools, respond to the user task, and then it will help another user or the user of this tool to solve some issues. A nice example that they have is, let me open GitHub here. If we go to examples, actually it's not here, but it's here, GPTScript AI, and then we have Storybook. And what this does is, let me go to the GPTScript here. You can see that it writes a children's book and generates illustrations for it. So basically they have like one tool to create everything, and here we have step by step what should be done. So for example, we have an input of story here, and if the story is inappropriate for children, abort the process, come up with an appropriate title for the story. It creates a directory, and now it uses a story writer, that is another tool declared here, to write the story. And then it generates images. It saves the story and it generates images using another sub tool called Story Illustrator, that is here to generate some images. And you can see how awesome it is. If we go here and open this, you can we can open maybe this story, and you can see that you can put let's do maybe 2 pages, a story about a mouse and a cheese, and it will create a story. And here underneath we can see what prompts are used and what is AI doing. So it generates the text, then the images and so on, the title. And here we have a ready story. So elephant and rat, and it generated text that is actually really nice. You can read it to your children for a bedtime, and it generated an image here for the story as well. So that is nice. Project where they demonstrate what can be done with it. They have also like many other tools, and for me it's hard to imagine what can be done with it. But if you go to tool search, you can see like image generation, vision, and the text tools and so on. the tools that we are going to use is actually to first visit a URL. We will pass the URL as a param. Then after we visit a URL, we will ask the AI to write a summary text. Then we are going to generate like 3 images for this summary. Then we are going to use another tool for voiceover. I think it's something with voice. No, I think it's speech. Yeah, we are going to use this to generate speech files. So AI will actually say all of the words in this summary. And then we are going to put everything together using ffmpeg. Let's do here. I think we are going to use Fluent ffmpeg, this one, to create a video. So let's start, shall we? So after you install GPTScript on your machine, you have this here inside overview, getting started, how to install it. I'm done now with this part. So then you can go and do examples, or you can even test it here. Let's see, credentials, how to test this using tools. Here's how you can test it. You can just do this, just copy paste it and try to run it with GPTScript. But now we will do this in the form of a Express app. So first, let's create a simple Express app here inside our backend directory. Let's start with this. So we will have some kind of API endpoint so we can call. Well, first we will need inside backend an index.js. Let's do index.js, and we want to have an Express app here inside, right? So I need to open terminal. Let me open another tab here. I will just rename it to backend so I will know what is what, and I will go to backend. So cd backend, and here inside I want to add Express. All right, so let's do Express, and I will also probably need course to allow requests between different URLs, different ports. So let's add this as well. And I'm going also to need, for now, nothing. Let's first just import Express from Express. And let's try if this will work. So let's do const app equals Express, called like this. And now let's do app, let's do get, and let's say that this endpoint will be, first let's do test. And here we will have request and response. Let's do curly brackets, arrow function. And here let's do just return response JSON. Okay. Now let's try to run it. So here I will do node index.js to see if this will run. No, this will not run. And let's see what's the issue here. We can't do imports here. And I think the issue is first here, we don't see any node modules here inside. Because first we need to do init to initialize package.json file. So let's do package name backend, entry point index.js. And now we have node modules, and we have also our package.json. But now we need to again add Express and course. So let's install those two. So we have those two dependencies here. Now let's see here. This looks fine. One thing I forgot about is to do app listen. And here we can pick a port. So maybe let's do like 8080. And then let's say console log listening on port 8080. Right, and now let's try to run this again. Node index.js listening on port 8080, which means I can go to HTTP localhost and 8080 /test, and I get OK. We can change this to test. OK. If I refresh, nothing changes because I need to restart my environment. So if I do Control C, I will run it again. Then we have test OK. There is a tool called nodemon. So instead of node index.js, you can do nodemon index.js. And then every time you change something here inside this file, test OK, let's do 2, it will restart for you. So you don't need to restart here node running. But there's also ban run, I think it's ban run, or is it like ban index.js? Yeah, ban index.js, and then this works too. You can change it to free, but then you need to restart this as well. But I think there's something called watch here, and you can do watch index.js. And now if I change this to 4, let's see here, no, doesn't change. I think the syntax was different. We can just get rid of this, and now let's see, test 4, and if I change this to 5, yeah, it's restarting. So this is the syntax that we need to use. Ban watch index.js. So now let's see, we have test OK 5. Let's just change it to test OK. And we can now call this from our React project, right? Let's see, where do we have it? Here we have our React project, and we can do an API call to localhost 8080 to get this test OK. But we don't want to have test OK. We want to do some AI magic, right? So let's do app-get, and let's create an endpoint called create story, right? And here let's do request and response, and let's put the curly brackets here, and here we are going to create a story from a URL. So first we will need some kind of URL, right? I guess for the URL we will need to use request. So we have here request URL. Let's maybe return it, response.json request URL, to see how it looks like. So let's do create story, and this is how the URL looks like. Okay, what happens if we put URL and something here? Okay, we have it as well. So now we can do something like this, const URL equals new URL, and let's put this request URL here inside. And now we can do const URL for story equals, and from this URL let's get a param. So let's do search params get URL, because we want to only grab from the URL here. And let's print this here. URL for story, we had an error. Cannot be parsed as a URL. Okay, because it's not a full URL. Let's try another way. All right, so let's maybe do response.json with just OK. But here I will do console log of the whole request. And now let's see if I refresh. You can see that we have a lot of stuff here. So let's maybe try to be more specific. Do we have a query, something related to query? Yeah, we have query. Let's see how this will look like. We need to open it here. and we have URL this. All right, so we can use URL from query. So let's do this. Const URL equals request query URL, and let's let's put OK for now. But here I will put console log and an object of the stuff we want to just see how this looks like. So if I refresh here, I have URL of this. This is nice, but when I have this links, for example, or maybe another article like this, I want to put it here. So let's do enter. And now let's see, we have a URL of this. Right. So this works. We have now a URL that we can work with. So we have a URL. What do we want to do now? Well, now we want to write a GPTScript for going to this link, creating a summary, right? So inside my backend, I will create a file called story creator, or maybe create story, create, or URL to story. I don't know. You can name it however you want. You don't need to use the same naming I use. I would do story.gpt. And here I'm going to use this GPTScript. So now first step for AI to do would be to browse to this link or to this URL that we provided and read the page contents. All right. Then create. I will hide the sidebar for now. Create too long don't read the summary, or maybe just too long don't read text version of it for an Instagram reel or a TikTok video. Please no emojis. And let's do max 100 words, something like this. Okay, so we have this summary. Then what do we want to do with it? We would like to print it, right? We would like maybe not to print it, but we want to save this text somewhere, right? Where do we save it? Here along the files. Now let's create a directory first. Let's say stories. Here we will have all of the stories. But for each story, we will have like a text file, maybe more text files. We will have images and so on. So for each text story, I want to have a separate directory. And to do this, on the beginning of this create story endpoint, I will create the subdirectory. So we will have stories and then some random ID. To get this random ID stuff, I'm going to install add unique ID like this. I think it is. And now we can use it. So let's do import unique ID from unique ID. And now here, let's do const ID equals unique ID. And now here we will have some random ID. Now we want to create a subdirectory inside stories, right? So for this, we are going to use a file system. So we need to import fs from fs, file system functions. And here let's do file system, make directory sync. I don't want to do async here. I will do sync. And now the name of the directory or the path to the directory. Let's do const path, and the path will go like this. It will go from the current directory, go to stories, and then create directory with this ID. So let's put the path here. Maybe instead of ID, let's call it directory. So we will know this is like the directory name we are going to create. Put this path, and just in case, let's put recursive to true in case this storage directory would not be created. Right, so now every time I refresh this endpoint, it should generate a random ID and create this path, and it should create a directory. So if I hit refresh, sorry, I forgot to restart my environment here. Refresh, okay, and if I open stories, I get this empty directory here with this random ID. And it sits here inside there. So this T61, we have it inside there. So I'm going to pass it to our, let's see, to our storage GPT. So our AI will know where to save this this text, right? So now create a too long and don't read text version of this article that we pass here. And now we want to save it, right? Before we are going to save this text, this summary of this article, I want to split it to 3 parts. Why do I want to split this to 3 parts and not only to one summary? I want this to split it to 3 parts, not to 2, not to 4. I will do 3 parts because for each part I will generate a different image. So let's do split the created text into let's do 3 parts. You can do 4, or later you can maybe do that. It will take an argument like here for the URL, and we want to save it. Save the text to, and now where do we want to save it? We want to save it to our specific directory. And then we want to say like to story dash, and then let's do index. And you can do like do story and then like X, and it will also know, but I tried to do like index, so they will to be really specific about this. And then it will create like story 1, story 2, and story 3, that text inside this directory that we are going to also pass as an argument. We need to specify actually those arguments on the top here. So let's do arguments, and let's put that we have this URL. So let's do URL, and it's good to specify that this URL will be a link to the article or page, something like this. And then we will also have another argument, and this will be our directory, right? So directory to save the files, save the created files to, right? And we will only need those 2 directories. Now, as you could see in other GPT scripts, for example, inside this storybook GPT, each tool uses different tools. So for example, here they are using mkdir to create a directory, write to write files, sysread to read files, sysdownload, and so on. We will also need those 3. So on the top, I'm going to put tools, and let's put those 3. So we have syswrite, sysread, sysdownload. Let's do also sysfind to find files inside the directory in case we are going to need this. And another tool we are going to need, let me close this, let's close this. Here we have tools. There is a tool called browser. So let's do browser. And you can see here we have it, and it's a GitHub link. But what you can do is you can see for each tool how to use it. You can see, of course, all of the tools and test it out. And for this, you just put tools like this. You can put it in the same line, or you can put like tools and like this browser. We don't need this article summarizer. We don't have it. And then it will work. So now we should be able to visit this URL, split, and create a story. So how about we will test just those 3 steps. Let's go back to our endpoint. For now, we just create this directory. We do console log of the URL and we just say okay. So now let's see if we can create a summary of it, right? So we need to run this story GPT. To run it, we are going to need to install another thing from to node modules, and this thing will be our GPTScript here for node, GPTScript AI, GPTScript. So this is what we want to install. Let me just grab the name here, and I will do here ban add this, and I think that's all we need. This is installing. Meanwhile, I forgot that just in case, I will add app use and the course in case later we will need it. So let's do import course from course, so we can do requests between different ports and our React app will not complain that this endpoint is somewhere else and it's unsafe. So now we have it. Now we also have this GPT script node package installed. So let's start our bandwatch index.js. So we have our backend running. Now let's also import our GPTScript from GPTScript AI. And now let's try to use it. So here, after we console log the URL, and what do we want to do? We want to run this story GPT. So how can we run it? First we need to initialize the connection or the object of GPTScript. So I will do just like this, GPTScript equals, and let's do new GPTScript like this on the top of this file. And now we have this GPTScript that we can use here inside our endpoint. So let's do GPTScript. What we want to do is just simply run, and here we have tool name. And for the tool name, we can just specify inside this directory where we have this index.js, just go to this storage GPT and run it, story.gpt. All right, so we have this, and there are more things that we can add here. As you can see in the documentation, here we have options, and this is an object. So I'm going to put an object here, and I will need to add a wait here because it's async. So let's do async here. And now for those options, what do we want to add? For the options, we want to add input. And the input is basically just a string of arguments. So we want to put an argument of, we wanted to pass, let's see, inside story, URL and dir. So for the URL, we are going to put, maybe let's use backticks. Dash URL is going to be our URL, and then we also have our directory. So let's put also this directory here, and just in case, I will also add here the disable cache to true as another option, and just so debugging will be easier. And now this returns a run, so let's define it as run. and we need to wait for this also to finish. So let's do await run text, and let's call it maybe result, const result equals this, and here let's put result of this run, right? There's one more thing we can add for debugging, that on a specific event we can do some stuff. And what I like to do is I would like to do some more logging information. So here we specify what event and the listener. So the event we're going to use comes from run event type. So this now has been imported for me here. Also where our GPTScript is imported. And here I want to, on each event, I want to grab the event and I want to do stuff with it. And what I want to do here is I want to console log it, console log this event. But I don't want to console log every event for the output. Instead, I want to check first if the event type is the same as run event type, and I want only to do call finish. So if a specific step is complete, I want to have information here that this is the event I want to console log. So if we have it, so if we also have an output, so event output, then I want to console log it. So let's do console log, and let's do event output. Now let's save it. You don't need actually this, but it's good to have some more information here. So, and now we have some errors here. Let's maybe restart to see why. Exact format error. Let's see. New GPTScript test. Well, here everything looks fine. Let's see more about this error. So it looks like we have some kind of error, and I'm not sure what is this. So we are going to debug this. So first, let's maybe put here OK, and let's comment all of this. Let's see if we will still have this error, and yes, we do. So it's nothing with this, it's probably something here. Now let's see if I start this, we don't have an error. If I uncomment this, then we have an error. Maybe it's because we have the same name. So I will just put G here, and let's see. No, that's not the issue. Maybe if I will put this here underneath, let's see. No, still an issue. All right, so I did some debugging and I found what is the issue here. With GPTScript, we cannot install packages with ban. So we need to actually, inside backend, let's remove all of those packages. So I'm going to remove it from the terminal. Let's remove the node modules directory. Let's install it again, but this time I'm going to use pnpm as the pnpm install, and it will install almost the same way, but something is different then. And now if I do node and index.js, it works without any errors, and it's the same file here, as you can see. So I uncommented everything, and I only changed this object of GPTScript to G. So then we run it here. And now let's put back this result here to JSON response, and let's try to, maybe we can use ban here to run it anyway. Let's see, watch index.js. Yeah, we can run it with ban, but we couldn't install the package with the packages, node modules with ban. That's weird. That's why I'm using here pnpm lock. That's why we have this file. Right, so now listening on port 8080. That means localhost, host, and let's do 8080 and create story CNBC something there. And we have this console log of the URL here. And now it should run this story GPT, right? Let's see if we have any console log. No, I don't see anything. So let's see how our run looks like. So if it's event type call finish, then we should get something here. Maybe let's get rid of this if here. Listening on port this. Now it should be loading. Here we have our story GPT. It should browse to this URL. And let's see, maybe we have some missing tools here. We have added here browser, so this should work fine. Let's see here inside. Do we have any console log? No, we don't. Let's maybe try to restart this. Let's go back here. And we want to print more information. So maybe here where we have our run, we have options here. Let's do const options and let's pass those here and let's put them here, options. And after, let's do console log about to run story GPT. Let's do console log here awaiting result. And let's see where it stops. Let's do this. Let's refresh here, awaiting result. All right, looks like we are not getting any results. So let's see maybe if there is some kind of error here. So let's try with doing try catch. Let's put all of this into try catch, maybe including this JSON thing. Let's catch. If we have an error, let's do console error, this error, and return response JSON error, like this. Now let's run this. Let's refresh, and we get about to run story GPT awaiting result. Let's see. So here we are waiting result. All right, so it was tagged because we shouldn't be using ban here. So I'm going to use node_mon and let's do index.js. And it's listening on port 8080, so that's fine. I'm going to uncomment this, so we will have proper console log here. And now if this has been refreshed, and as you can see, a browser have opened with this article, and it have opened automatically. It wasn't me who opened it. It was this AI tools here. And you can see we have a lot of console logs here about what is happening. And on the bottom we have the task is complete. The text has been split into 3 parts and saved in the specified directory. So now we have this stories, and then we have this weird directory here. Okay, so I want it to be this here inside, but as you can see, maybe we can get rid of this and this. We specified that the directory, where did we do this? Here, options. We specified the directory is only this unique ID. We should specify that this is this path to this directory. And yeah, here we have the task is complete. Let's maybe remove this and this. So let's see if this everything will be recreated. Now I'm going to refresh this page, this endpoint. Let's restart this just to be sure. And we are passing this URL, CNBC article. Let's hit refresh. Or actually, I will show you another way of doing this. Because when you refresh here, if you run this in the browser, sometimes it can just reload by itself, and I want to have full control of it when I run this request. I don't want to run it like when the browser decides. So I have here terminal, but I can also put here that I want to run this URL. I will copy it, I will close this for now, and here let's put curl. If you don't have curl, you can just Google how to install curl for your Windows, Linux, or anything. And let's just put this URL here, and I will add verbose, so we'll have more debug information. Let's hit enter, and that's weird. This didn't work. So let's do curl verbose https google.com. Okay, this worked, but this didn't, and I think this is because this URL is wrong. Because we need to do we need to encode this URL param first. So let me grab this part. Let me go here, and I will just quickly run inside JavaScript and encode URI component. And I want to encode this, and let's try something else. Encode URI unexpected token. Okay, is it this new line? Yes. So let's do component, and now we have something like this: HTTPS with those percent tags and 7. So let's see. Let me make this bigger, and now let's select all of it except those ticks here. And now instead of putting URL like this with colon and everything, I will paste it this way. And still no matches found. So still I don't know what is wrong with this curl tool. Maybe I can just select this, and I can put it here inside. Yeah, now it works. I just hit enter. If I put it with those double ticks, then it works. And as you can see, it opened the browser. It's reading the article, and here on the backend we can probably see it wrote to this file, to this file, and to this file. So if we go here, it created the stories in this directory, and we have one story in 3 parts. So this is nice. So we have story 1. The 10 worst states to retire in the US have been ranked by bank rate. Alaska tops list due to blah blah blah. Then we have despite no income tax, the overall expenses make it challenging, blah blah blah. When planning for retirement, consider blah blah blah. All right. So the first part of going to this article, it opens Chrome browser for me, and it goes there and it generates a story for us, right, in 3 parts. So the next part will be to generate images. So let's do point number 4. And so we have those 3 parts, and those are saved inside those files here. So what we want to do now is for each text part, we want to come up to generate an image. We need to come up first with a phrase to generate image for. So let's do come up with a keyword, or a phrase, something like this, for an image, right? So let's do for an image, for a B-roll image, because it will be a B-roll image. And I want this to be, those images to be like vertical for like TikTok videos and yeah, shorts on YouTube or Reels on Instagram. So you can specify here vertical, and this will work. Or you can specify dimensions of the image. There are few supported dimensions. So I would do this one, that is 1792 here, and generate image. So we have for each text part come up with a keyword or phrase for 1024 by 1792 b-roll image, generate, and save it, and save the result. We want to save those images, save them, and we want to save them to, let me maybe wrap those lines here and save them to, where do we want to save them? In the same directory, right? So let's do this, and let's maybe put like b-roll and then just index. Let's put this index thing, index, and .png, something like this. So now it should also create images for us, right? So first it goes to this URL, creates a story, a max 100 words around. It will try no emojis. It will be a summary text version for Instagram reel or TikTok video. It will split this text to 3 parts and save those texts to here, to this location that we specify with those arguments. Then for each text part, come up with a keyword or phrase for 1024 by 1792 b-roll image, generate and save those images to this location where the index is every next image. So now we want to, of course, try to run it. I'm going to run it with curl here. So let's run it like this, enter, and let's see here on the backend what is happening. Or actually, I should probably first restart the environment just to be sure. And now let's try to first clear. Let's try run it again, backend. So we have the URL and the browser have opened automatically. Let's see what's happening here. We should have, yeah. Now it's reading the article, and let's see what's going on here. It's printing, yeah, it wrote some free story files, so that is good. Now let's see, it opens some empty tabs, and now the task is complete. It has been split into 3 parts, and the corresponding b-roll images have been generated and saved. So looks like everything is done. So this is the last. Let's go to stories, and I'm going to open it in Finder. So we have those stories. The last one is this, but looks like it's empty. Let's see. No, it's not this one. It was 0 and Q3. So it's this one, this directory. And we have pre-story text files, but I don't see any images. Let's see why. Let's go back to our story GPT and let's see if everything is defined. Yeah, I know what I forgot about. Let's go to GPT tools, GPTScript. Let's go to tool search. We forgot to specify image generation tool. So let's put here tools, and I can close this one. And let's see, image, no image. I think we can go with, I think it's called DALL-E. Let's see, all tools. Here we have image generation. So let's try with this one. So we can just grab tools and put it here. And now it should be able to generate images for us. Let's restart environment. And here let's run curl. So let's hit enter. Let's open backend so we can see all of the console logs. And now it opens the browser for me. It opens this this tab, and let's see what happens here. It created the files inside n1n directory and then story 1, 2, 3. Where do we have it? n1n here. But looks like the images are not saved yet. Let's see. Let's open this. We have story files, but that's it. Let's see. We have some links here, and I can see that this is a link to an image. So that is cool, but those images are not saved. The task is complete, the task has been split, and the corresponding has been generated and saved. The files are located in the directory this. All right, let's see. All right, so we actually got those images here. So now we have story 1, story 2, story 3. So we have 3 parts of the same story. And we have now 3 images for each story. So for this one, Alaska ranking, blah, blah, blah. So we have, for Alaska, we have this. So, and then despite its vast land area, Alaska scores poorly in affordability, overall well-being, healthcare quality, weather, and crime. And we have this image for this. That is really nice. And then part 3, the cost of living in Alaska is about 30% higher, making challenging for retirees, which we have this. That is really nice. So we have 3 texts, 3 parts of the text and 3 B-roll images. And everything seems to be working so far here, right? So what will be the next step? We have B-roll images, we have text. Well, the next part will be voiceover. So now let's see. To generate voiceover, I actually created the tool myself. So we can do just tools, github.com. And here you just put David like this. And then speech. No, I created speech to text, but first we are going to need tool search, and we will need speech. This one, text to speech. Sorry, so first this one. Text to speech. You can see we can just put the tools like this. And then with this tool, we can go to those text files and we can generate speech files. So MP3 files. So step 3 for each text part, generate speech files and save them to, and then we want to save them in the same directory like this, but not B-roll. It should be voiceover index and dot maybe we can just put voiceover index, and here I had some, when I was testing, I had some issues with that it was saving with like one.mp3.mp3 double extensions. So I solved this with saying don't pass the file type, use the default value. All right, so that's probably a small bug inside this tool, but it works. So now we should get MP3s. So let's restart this and let's run this curl again. And I'm going to open backend so I can see here all of the console logs, what is going on. So now browser opens, let's go back here. We can see the URL. Now it reads this article. Everything good so far. It's saved to story 1, story 2, and story 3. We can see big C. The directory ends with big C. And now it should generate images and save them as well. So this usually takes like 10 seconds or something like this. As you can see, we get our first, second, and probably third image as well somewhere here. And now it should also go and do the voiceover for us. So it takes those text parts, those from the summary. We have 3 parts of the text, and for each, as you can see, for each text part generates speech files and save them to here. And let's maybe open here our directory. It was ending with big C. We can see we have story 1, story 2, story 3. I don't see images yet, but maybe, yeah, now we have images and we have voiceover. I'm going to preview voiceovers. You will not probably hear them because I'm recording only my voice. Yeah, but those are working. Just trust me, if I preview like this, you don't hear them, but they have audio inside and they say Alaska something like this. Ranks as number 1 something something. What the same text is actually here. Alaska ranks blah blah blah. So we have voiceover and it works. Maybe on the when I will edit the video, I will put the voiceover. So this works. We have now this story. We have B-roll images. But when I want to put this into one video, I don't want to put like this image and then put all of this on the image. Instead, I want to do like when this voiceover is reading this text, I want to show every specific word. So when it says Alaska ranks, blah, 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 I want to show Alaska ranks. So to do this, we will need a voiceover information. Voiceover about those MP3 speech files. So to do this, let's go back to our story. And this is the time we are going to use a tool that I created. So the tools, github.com, and here my username. And then it's just similar to this one, but speech to text, GPTScript. And yes, now let's save it. And now we need to add 6th step. I will just do, let's say, run speech to text for all three MP3 files inside our directory, and save results to 3 separate files also in this directory. All right, and that's all the steps we need to generate all of the assets. So let's restart our environment, and let's do clear here, and let's run curl to generate images, text, voiceover, and transcriptions for our URL, right? So now let's see on the backend what is going on. Looks like everything is running smoothly so far. We can go to HBO2 directory to see the results. Let's close this one. Let's close this one, HBO2. So this is the directory. You can see that we have a story rewritten from this URL into 3 parts. So this is good. And now it's generating some images. That's also good. Soon we should see them saved into this directory. It will take a few more seconds. So now we have B-roll images. That's really nice. Let's see what's the next part. Downloaded images, B-roll 3, B-roll 1, and B-roll 2. Now I guess it's running voiceovers. Yeah, we have voiceovers. And now the last part, the tool I created, we can also open it to see how it looks like. If you are curious how it looks like, the tool looks like this, tool GPT. And it takes some arguments and it runs just a curl to OpenAI API transcriptions with argument of, let's see, audio file to be converted. Yeah, but let's go back here and you can see we have voiceover 1 text and we have voiceover 2 and voiceover 3. And for each one, you can see we have words here. All of this is a JSON. We have words and we can see that Alaska is being said on the beginning of the video and for like a half a second. Then we have is that starts from half a second to 0.87 of a second. And so on and so on. And for those two other files as well. So now we have everything we need to generate a video. We just need to put, for example, this first B-roll image, and we need to play this voiceover for this image, and we want to put those words like this. First this one, then this one, like maybe somewhere here with white text and so on. And then when it ends with this voiceover, it will show this image as the video with voiceover 2 and those voiceover 2 text words here. So we have now all of those voiceover, so all of those assets that we need to generate a video from a URL. Now let's try to create a video from all of those files we want to create a video. So let's go to here maybe, and we have a create story endpoint where we create a story from a URL that we are passing as a query param. Now it would be nice to have another endpoint where we could build, let's say, build video. And here we will also have like request response, and let's grab URL from query. No, we will not have URL as a param. We are going to use path or maybe ID, something like this. And this ID we are also going to return here instead of the result. So ID, I mean this directory name. So let's put it here so we can grab it when the assets are generated. But here we are going to grab this ID from the URL, and now we want to build a video. So that is not an easy task, but we can do this. So I think this, let's open maybe first the directory that has all of those assets, BO2. So let's open BO2. Here we have all those assets that we can build a video of. And maybe for now, let's don't grab this from the URL, but first let's use a fixed value. So I'm going just to copy path to this. Let's do this. And let's put this here, just for now. So I know I will start with this. Now let's do const path to directory, and the path is stories and then this ID. So let's put it like this. And then I know inside this directory, path to directory, I have all of those files here. All right, so what do we want to do with them? So maybe first let's start by renaming those. I want to rename those to make the file names more simple. So we have b-roll1, b-roll2, b-roll3 PNG. I want to use file system to rename those. So let's do rename sync, and let's do path to directory slash, and let's do b-roll1 PNG. I want to rename to new path will be, let's copy this, let's put this here, and maybe let's rename this to just path, and here let's do path, and the new name will be just one PNG. And I will do the same for two PNG, three PNG. I could do this, I could put this information into our GPTScript, but it doesn't matter, I will change it here. So then we have also we have voiceover. For the voiceover we could also do like 1.mp3 and so on. So I'm going to copy, let's do all of those, and here let's do, instead of b-roll it will be voiceover, and here we will change it to mp3 from voiceover 1 or 2 or 3 mp3 to just 1, 2 and 3 mp3. Right. And now let's see. So those will be renamed to just 1, 2, 3 PNG, and this one, and this one will be renamed to 1, 2, 3 MP3, and maybe let's rename those to transcription. Or I don't know if we actually need this renaming. I'll try to do without renaming. Or actually it would be nice to rename those so the file names would be shorter. Let's also add to a check if file exists. If file exists sync. Is there such function? No, it's not. If fs exists sync. So this probably checks if the path exists. Yeah. If this already exists. If this doesn't exist, then we will do all this renaming stuff. Otherwise, we will know it's already renamed. All right. We have then we will need also those voiceover text, but we can work with it. Or maybe we should rename it to JSONs, so we will know those are JSONs. Yeah, let's do this. So let's do 3 times, and the renaming here will be from voiceover 1 to 3. So voiceover 1, 2, 3. But here we will have like here we'll have text extension. So voiceover 1, 2, 3, 2, and let's rename it to oops, not like this. Let's select those here, and let's rename those to voiceover, or maybe transcription of those mp3 files, transcription 1 to 3 dot JSON, because those are JSONs inside, not text files. Right, doesn't matter, we could put this JSON extension in the story, but let's just rename it if it's not correct. And now if I run this, it should rename it only once. So let's try. Let's do restart environment 8080. So let's see localhost. But also I forgot that we need to respond with something. So let's do here return response JSON. Okay. Let's restart. Localhost 8080 / build video. Okay. So now those are renamed. As you can see, 1 MP3, 1 PNG, 2 MP3, to PNG, free MP3, free PNG, and we have transcription 1 JSON, transcription 2 JSON, transcription 3 JSON. Right. So now, what do we need to do? We want to generate from those files, we want to generate a video, right? To do this, we will use ffmpeg. So this will be our next big step in this project. The first part was to generate a front end where we can just put the URL and send it. Now the second was that we completed to generate all of those assets. And now the third part will be to create a video using ffmpeg of all of those assets. And then the fourth will be just to see that everything works and it's displayed and so on the front end. All right, so now to create a video from it, we will need to use ffmpeg. So first, let's see if it is installed. So I'm going to stop this and I will do pnpm add, and we will need fluent ffmpeg, and we will also need the URL lib and path, and in case it's not installed we will need also fs. We are already using fs, but just to make sure everything is installed. And we will use also ffmpeg static for static files, so we can grab them and work on those. And I think that's it. So let's install those stuff. And now it looks good. Let's hide it. Yeah, when it comes to this ban and pnpm, you might be wondering. Nowadays I use a lot of ban because it's like 10 times faster than node, npm or pnpm or yarn. But I think ban is still not production ready. So if you do like commercial projects, you should use pnpm because this one is solid and tested. Just a side note. All right, everything is installed here. So what do we do now? Well, we need to start by importing some stuff. So we will need to import ffmpeg. ffmpeg from ffmpeg fluent ffmpeg. And now we will also need path to the ffmpeg. So let's import a function here, ffmpeg path from ffmpeg static. First thing we are going to do here is to set it. So let's do ffmpeg, and there's a function called set ffmpeg path, and we are going to use this ffmpeg path here like this, and that's it. So this lib basically has this ffmpeg binary, I guess. So I think that's all. Now let's go to the part where we are going to build the video. Let's do some space here, and let's start maybe by listing our images. So we have an array of images, 1.png, and let's do 2 and 3. I don't have 4, we have only 3. Now same with audio equals new array and 1.mp3 and 2mp3 and 3.mp3, whoops, like this. So we have those, and now we also have those transcription files. So let's do const transcriptions equals, and let's do transcription -1 JSON, transcription 2 JSON, and transcription free JSON. I'll put this maybe like this so it will be easier to read. So it will not wrap the code to your next lines by random. And now we need to do some magic with this. And we are going to first create a function that will do magic with this. So let's create an async function. Maybe we don't need a function. Let's just process them here. Just let's first add async because it will take some time and we will have some async things here going on with await and promises and stuff like this. So what do we do here? Well, first we need to loop through those audio files, right? So let's create a simple loop where we let's do let I equals 0. Here we can do images length or audio length, doesn't matter, and I++. So this I will be, first it will be 0, then it will be 1, then it will be 2. So now for each we want to grab first the image. Let's grab first image. So the const input image equals, and let's do, I'm going to use this path library, or maybe, no, here we have path. I want to import path library. Let's do import path from path, but now I need to rename this path to something else. So let's rename it to maybe to dir directory. Right, and here we can use path, and there is a function here, I think, called directory name. And here I want to use dir name to specify just to be sure with the path. And here I will put images of I, and this will just get me a nice way of getting the absolute location to this image. So if I do console log of input image, let's see, let's run this, and let's see here, the app has crashed. We don't have any dir name here. I forgot, it should be, actually, maybe we can define it. Let's define the const dir name equals path dir name of this current directory. And now let's see, if I restart and refresh, okay, we get ... input image dir name. Yeah, I know here we shouldn't have dir name because it takes only one param, and instead I want this to be join. Yeah, now let's see. Now, yeah, I have those 1, 2, and 3 PNG. But here I don't want this to go to current directory. Instead, it should go to this directory here. So let's pass this dir. Let's see what happens now. Yeah, stories 1, stories 2, stories 3. But it goes to just to stories ID. Well, I don't think this is correct. So here I would just put this dir, and then we don't need this thing, but let's keep it anyway. But we don't need this, so let's put here just dir, and let's see now how this will look like. Yeah, so we have finance like this. I think this would work. And we could just join those without this path, but I want to show you other ways of doing the same thing. So we could do this like this with just dir plus slash and then the images of I, but you can also use path join. And then it will know if it should be slash or maybe a backslash for Linux, Windows machines. So this can be what differs. So basically we should use path joins on all of those places where we have here slash. But anyway, here I will do with path join. Now we have input image. Let's do input audio, and same thing but with audio audio array. And now transcription file, transcription, or maybe we can do like input transcription equals, and here same thing, path join, not JSON, join, and dir and transcriptions of I. All right, so now we have three things: first here, first here, and first here. Now, what do we want to do? We want to first read the transcriptions. One important thing is here we have words, but we have also duration of the audio that we are also going to use. Let's go back to this index, and now let's do some of this. Let's remove this JSON, add this console log here. Let's add a command, read the transcription file. And here let's do const transcription equals, let's do, we want to read it, so let's do file system read file sync. We don't want to do async here. And let's do input transcription. And just to be sure, let's add UTF-8 here for encoding. And we need to parse it. So let's do JSON parse like this, and this works. Now from this, we want to grab words. So those words, and let's also maybe grab duration. So let's grab words equals transcription words. All right, so now let's grab also duration. So the const duration equals, and the same thing, transcription dot duration. And you can see we have like unresolved variable from TypeScript because they don't know what's inside, but that's fine. We don't do any strict, or we don't even use TypeScript here. It's just JavaScript. So no issue here. So we have duration, we have words. What is the next part? Now we want to, now for each word we need to build a command for ffmpeg. And this is complicated. I was using ChatGPT help to create this, but it goes like this. So let's add the command build the draw text filter string, and basically first let's do draw text filter equals empty string. And now for each word, so let's do words for each, and for each word, it's not actually word, it's word information object. So let's do word info. Let's do word info, and for each we want to do what? For each we want to grab the word from this object, and also remember we have word start and end. So before we will do just word info word, I don't want to do it like this. I need to replace some small things here first. And what I need to replace is ticks. So for example, I want to replace if there is like a single apostrophe or something like this. And so something like this. Whoops. I want to replace to, and I will add here. No, I don't like this. I need to use regular expressions and tick and global to replace all of those. And I need to add escape those. So let's do double backslash and then a tick. And another thing I want to replace is let's add regular expression, global, and double tick, or I don't know, double apostrophes. How I don't remember how to call it. And let's do backslash double apostrophe. So everything is escaped here. Now we need to grab start equals word info start. But as you can see here, start is really long float number, and what we want to do, we want to take just the beginning, like 285 or something like this. So to do this, let's go back here. We will not grab this like this. Instead, we will do parse float. So we will not have it as a text, but as a float. And we will change this to fixed of 2. So we have only 2 numbers after the comma. We don't need the rest. All right, and now we need to do the same thing with end. So let's do end, and let's do here end to fix 2. All right, so now we need to put stuff to this draw filter. So let's do draw filter, and we are going to add stuff, because for each word we are just putting more and more stuff into it. And I will put here backticks because we are going to use some constants and so on. So let's put draw text equals ticks, single quotes. Yeah, now I remember, those are called quotes. And here let's put our word, and we were escaping those quotes, as you can see, because we are using those single quotes here. That's why we are escaping those. All right, so we have a word and draw text equals this, yeah, colon. So another param, I want to font color to be white, and the size of font size to be 96. And then I want to have a border for the text, so outline border width of 4, and the outline, I want the outline to be black, so white text with black outline, so it will be popping out. Border color equals black, and now position of the text, so X and Y. And so now the X will be calculated, actually same with Y. So X equals, let's put parentheses, and let's put width minus, and then let's do text underscore W for text width, divided by 2, because we want to center it. Now let's see, we have X, let's do Y. For Y we will do something like this. Y equals, let's put parentheses so we can do some calculation, and I want to put it like sorry, let me see, I want to put text somewhere here, so centered here, so it will be like 3/3 of the from the top. So here I will do half times 3/4 minus, let's do minus the text half, just to be sure. And now we need to add another param called enable. Enable, and here I will add ticks, Same thing we did with text here to specify, because here we will also use some params. Params. Start and end. So the text of this specific word should be enabled, so visible. Here we will put between parentheses, and we will need here time, and we need to add backslash here, comma. Let's do now start, and then we will need backslash comma and end, and close the parentheses and another comma here, because we are going to have several of those draw text things here. So now we will have a lot of those draw texts inside here. And what I want to do now is I want to remove the last comma, because those commas should be only between those and not after the last one. So here after the words for each, I would do draw text filter, and here let's do slice from 0 to -1 to remove the remove last comma. All right, so now we have command draw text for all of those words. All right, and those words and those filters here are for this specific part. So we have part 1, part 2, and part 3. Remember that we are inside this loop. So we have this. Now for this specific part of I, which can be 0, 1, 2, we want to do more stuff. We have prepared only the command for those words, but we will need to do more stuff now. Let's add maybe some console log, so we will know what's going on here. I will use backticks here, and let's say here we will do processing and the image and the file. So let's do input image and input audio. So let's do input audio, so we'll know what's going on here. And now we want to process image, audio, and those words and put this into one video. This will not be a final video. This will be only a part video for like first image, first MP3, and first transcription, and those words from transcription. Then we will have 3 videos inside this loop for first, second, and third, and then the last step will be putting those together. So now we want to create our first part video. So let's do ffmpeg, and here we put input will be input image, and we want to loop this image loop for this duration that we have here, and then we want to add another input of our audio, simple as that. And then we need to specify audio codec, and here you can just do copy, then video filter, and here we put our draw text that we prepared for all of those words. And then we have output options, and the duration of the video. So we need to put time and duration. And now let's see, we have output options. This should work. Now we can do, when something goes wrong on error, we can do console error, this error, and on end, we know it's complete. But because we have an async function, I want to wait for all of this. So I will put this inside a promise. So let's do await new promise, resolve and reject. And let's put this here inside. This may seem complicated if you don't know how to promise and async work. But this on end, I will resolve this promise, and on error, I will actually put reject. Right, and now also I forgot I need to put here save, and I need to specify output file. So let's maybe specify this here, const output equals let's do output file, or maybe output video equals, and let's prepare this the same way we did it here. So maybe let's put it where we have our file definitions, path join, join and directory, and here let's do backticks output underscore, and let's put i.mp4. So we will have like output 1, output 2, and output 3 for each image and audio, and then we will join those, join them together at the end. But first, let's just generate those. All right, so save, and here we need to put output video. Right, and let's see, is it everything we need? I think so, yes, for now, for generating those 3 files. Let's see, then we will generate a final video that just joins them together. So let's try. Let's see if I hit build video. Yeah, I forgot to restart here. Let's see. No, something's wrong. Let's see. Invalid input. Processing this and stores this. Invalid input. Let's see. Something is then wrong with this start and end. Or this draw text. On the beginning, it's an empty string. Then we are adding stuff. Draw text equals text equals, and then we have first this word colon font color equals white. Then we have colon font size 96. Then we have colon border width of 4. Then we have colon border color of black. Then we have X to be inside parentheses with minus text width and divided by 2. Then we have Y of H. So this is height times 3/4 minus text height. That's good. Then we have enable inside parentheses, inside ticks. Okay, here we have the closing tick. Inside ticks we have between, time, backtick, start and end. Okay, just to be sure, let's maybe do a console log of this draw text filter to see how this looks like. So we have draw text, font color. Let's see, we have a comma here. Thing I have found the issue. The comma should go after here because it needs to separate all of those draw texts. So let's restart. And why it fails directly on the beginning? Let's see. Invalid input. All right, still an issue. I'm going to use the same thing here. I just paste. Draw text looks fine. Let's try to console log. Instead of console logging this, let's console log start and end to see that looks fine. And if I refresh, looks like this. Let's try to print more information. Here on the error, let's do also with the error, we want to, let's put this as a function. Let's do console.error of this error, and let's do reject here with this error as well. Now let's restart this, and now let's refresh. Do we have any more information? Not really. So we have console error, but I don't see anything. Invalid input. Let's try with only one word. Let's do slice and 0, 1. Let's restart. And also I want to print everything. So let's do here console log draw text filter, so we can see how it looks like. Let's restart, refresh. We can see it crashed. Looks like this. And what is wrong here is we have this comma here. I think we shouldn't have it. Yeah, and now I see. I wanted to remove comma, but I didn't assign it back to the same thing, like this, as I should. So now if I restart this and I run it, still an error. But now we have draw text, Alaska, font color, font size, border wave, border color, blank, X, then we have Y, and then we have enable between time of this and time of this. So I think that the issue now, if I start and refresh, let's see, it says no such file or directory. Okay, now it tries to rename stuff. Here, okay, I forgot it should be stories dot. Yeah, if I refresh, let's see, I get invalid input. And the issue here is something with the input. And our inputs here, let's see, promise ffmpeg inputs are image and audio. Yeah, here we should have audio, input audio, I think, input audio. Let's see, let's restart, let's see. Yeah, now it didn't fail. We have this processing, stories, blah, blah, blah. And it looks like it worked. Now it's doing the second image. Let's stop this and let's see. We have 2 files here. Let's delete those MP4 files for now. Because I added this weird, let's remove this console log. And I added this slice to just do one word. Let's do all of those words so we know it works. Let's start node mon index.js. Now if I refresh here, it already refreshed for me. You can see a lot of here stuff. We have output 0, MP4. I don't want to print this thing. Draw text filter. So let's get rid of this. Let's restart once again. Let's refresh. And now we can see all of those words printed. It's processing the first part, the first out of 3. So now the second part of 3. So we will have 3 videos. Now the third part. And soon everything should be okay. And now we get this okay. So maybe on the bottom we can do a console log complete. We have 3 videos here. Let's see if those work. So I will just open this directory so we can open those videos. Looks like something is wrong with those. Let's see. With input image, input audio, duration. Right, so it's it actually works. It was just my default player on my macOS couldn't work on this. couldn't play those. But if I play, you can see it's showing the image and it's showing the subtitles or the transcription. And I'm also hearing the voiceovers included into this video. So when it's saying this, I hear those words, even if you don't. And I guess those two works as well. And yes, they do work. So let's close it. So now we have 3 videos for 3 parts: output 0, output 1, and output 2. Maybe it would be better to have like 1, 2, 3, but well, it doesn't matter. We can work with 0, 1, 2. And now let's maybe change this to done. And now here we know we have 3 videos that we need to join together to have one final video, right? So let's see. Here we have a closing part of this loop here. Maybe here before we will close this loop, let's do console log, output video, or maybe let's do backticks. And let's say output video is complete. And now, after we are done with all those 3, here we want to put those together, right? So let's do, we will need another promise. So let's do const new promise for ffmpeg. So let's do here resolve, and reject like this. And we don't need to define const for this. We just need to wait for it. All right, so now we need to run ffmpeg. So ffmpeg, and let's do input, and we just need to put all of those 3 files. So we can go and specify those files, or we have this direct path here, directory here that we can use. So the first will be directory, and then we will do, maybe we should use this path and join directory, and then we will have this, let's see, we have it output underscore, and then let's do first 0 dot mp4, and now we need to do 2 more of those. So let's do this one and this one. Now let's do 1 and 2, and we want to put those together, right? And I think this will be enough. And now we just need to do on end, we want to do resolve, and on error we want to do reject, right? And in this one we were doing save. On this one we will do not save, we will do merge to file, because we want to merge those 3 inputs into one file called let's maybe use also path join to call it maybe final.mp4, and then it should say done. Right, so now let me restart this once again. Let's refresh here. So now we have those words. Maybe I will also get rid of those words which are console logged here, start and end. I don't need this. Let's start again here. Processing first, so that's cool. Processing second. We can see that after first we have output 0 mp4 is complete. And now the third. So now third is complete as output 2. And now it's generating the combined video. Maybe, and now we have done. Maybe we should even add, before we'll do this promise to merge together, we can do console log merging 3 videos together. Right, so now we should have a final video here. So let me just open it, final, and here we have it. And it contains the words, and it even changes those images, so everything looks fine. One thing that I think needs to be fixed is duration. Because as you remember, for the start and finish, we were doing this parse float and to fix of 2. Let's do the same thing for duration. So we will be sure that that it works for each part in case there will be some weird values. So let's do parse float and let's do to fixed of 2. Now I will, just to be sure, I will run this again to see that everything works. All right, so now everything seems to be working. So it would be nice to connect everything together. Our frontend with backend. So first thing first, instead of this here build video, okay, I want to put this path here. So let's do like this, final mp4, and also we need to be able to access those files. So inside our index.js, we need to specify a public directory for our app to use. And let me see, express public folder. And to do this, we do this like this. Let's copy this. Let's put this here. And let's put stories. Right, and now we should be able to go to stories slash and this story ID that we hard coded, final.mp4, and we need to start our environment. Cannot get this final because maybe we need to get rid of stories. Yeah, now it works. So that is really nice. Let's go back here, build video, and for the build video we want to have this final thing. All right, so this will work. Now maybe not the final, because we want to have only the ID and the slash. So let me put, let's see, where do we have the ID? Here, ID. So let's put just ID and then slash. Let's put backticks, ID slash and final.mp4, because this will be relative path, relative URL that we want to return. So yeah, just to be sure, I will start here, and here we had this fixed ID, but now we want to do this const ID equals and from request. So let's comment this one, and if we don't have it, if no ID, response JSON error, invalid ID. All right, now or maybe better, missing ID. So this should work. Now we need to go back here, and we need to go back to our client, right? To our React app. So, but first let's just check again our endpoints here. First we do create story. We take this URL. Maybe just to be sure, let's do the code URI component of this, and this looks cool. So this endpoint that we need to first call, create story, it will create those assets. And then we have build video with specific ID. Let's see, just if we return ID here, directory, which is our unique ID. Okay, so let's now go to our frontend or client. and we have app.tsx. And now let's see. We have an app, we have a form here. And now if I put a link here, let's go to CNBC and maybe this one. If I put this link here, I click create video. What I want to do, I want to add a handler for this form. So let's add a function here, handle submit. And now here I will add on submit, handle submit. Here we will first grab event, and this is submit event, if I remember correctly, for TypeScript. Let's do event, stop, prevent default. And the next part is, let's see what's the issue here. On submit is not compatible. What if I do just like this event? Will this work? No, actually here we should have form event. Okay, now it works, and it should also work with just handle submit without any parentheses. Yeah. Now this works. If we have a submit, what do we want? We want to grab the input value. We don't have an input value inside the state. We can grab it from the event, but it's better to have a state. So let's prepare a state for it. Const URL, set URL, use state, and default will be empty string. And now for this input, let's put value to be URL, and let's add on change. On change we'll have event, and let's do set URL, event target value, as we always do with the inputs. So now we have this, let's see, this URL that we can send to our endpoint to build a video. For this, I'm going to use Axios. Let's stop the front end and let's do ban add Axios. Let's start front end again. And now let's import Axios from Axios. And we need to do a call to 8080. So let's do Axios get 8080. And why is this red? Import everything. I want import Axios as Axios. Yeah, like this. All right, so we do this. Then we want to call an endpoint called create story with a URL, right? Let's see, just to be sure, index on backend, create story, URL. Yeah. So let's do URL equals, and here let's put encode URI component of the URL of our URL from state. This query will take like a minute or so to generate all of the assets by AI. So to make it faster, I will add not faster, to show something. I will add maybe a backdrop with a text or something like this. So I will add state for this. Let's do const, and we don't need this for now. I don't need to comment this for now. Let's add a state, backdrop message, set backdrop message, use state, default will be empty string. Here I'm going to check if we have any backdrop message. Let's do end parenthesis, and let's put some divs. The first, maybe let's rename it to loading message, and here said loading message. So here we will need to change to loading message. If we have loading message, we want to do div of position fixed, of inset 0, and background black of 90. And here we will put this loading message. Let's maybe put it like this. And let's now put test. So we will see how it looks like. So we have test here. So we know something is going on. But let's make this centered and bigger, and yeah, you get the idea. Flex. So let's do justify center, items center. Let's maybe put this message into paragraph so we can style it further and put some more classes here instead of here above. So let's do text for Excel. And we need to add text center probably. So just let's do this. Yeah, so we have test. And this works. So now let's put here empty string. And now before we will run this, I will do set loading message to generating generating assets. We can do something like this, but then this will run until this thing will be complete. So here, let's just set loading message to empty. So we will set this to generating assets, so it will be shown. Then we will run this and we'll wait. So let's do await until it's complete, and then we will clear the message. So this can be shown like for 1 minute. And I don't want to show the same text for 1 minute. And instead, I would like to switch texts like every 5 seconds or so. But maybe not now. For now, it will just say generating assets. Then it will generate assets. Then it will clear the message. And from the response here, let's do assets response equals this. Let's maybe put this here. From the assets response, we can grab, we will have this, let me see this, we will have this value here, which is our ID. So let's do const ID equals assets response body. We have response, the body should be here. What is this? Let's see, Axios response, and we do await. Do we need to do await body? No. So let's see, Axios get JSON. And let's see, sorry, it's not body, it's just data. Yeah, sometimes I'm just a little bit tired. So we have ID here, and this is ID of the directory. So it's those random numbers and digits and letters. And now when we have it, we can run this another endpoint called build video with this ID param that we need to pass. So let's do Axios get, and we'll need to do the same beginning here, and let's don't forget await. And here we need to put, how was it called, build video with ID of our ID. And we can assign the response to video response equals this. And before we will build the video, we will change the message, set loading message, building your video, or maybe converting, maybe preparing. I don't know what would be the best message for the user. You can decide yourself. After everything is done, let's just print this on this popover response data. And or maybe we can just redirect to that video. Let's maybe first start with displaying the response data of this video response. If I remember correctly, let's see, what do? We do ID and then final MP4. So we can just redirect there. Let's set loading message after everything is done to empty. And then we can do window location equals, and then we can do video response data, because then it will redirect us to, for example, slash the ID and then ID of the story and then final MP4. So now what's left is to test it once again. I will open here network tab just to see if something goes wrong. Let's see. Yeah, let's take this story. Let's put this here, clear everything, create video, generating assets. So let's see if this will actually work. So it opens the browser on the back, and you can maybe do more texts here, like please wait a few minutes as this process can take some time and be patient, something like this, you know, something that is user friendly. So now let's wait if we will have the next part here. So now it says preparing your video, and we can see that something went wrong with preparing the video part. Let's see, create story worked fine, took like 2 minutes. Let's see, restarting due to changes. Let's see, what's the issue here? Connection lost. Okay, so looks like I need to, let's open this in a new tab to see if this will work. I think I have by accident clicked save on the file, and that's why it restarted the backend. Let's see if this will build the video. We can see that it's done with two parts, and now it's processing the last part. Soon it should start processing the final video. Yeah, merging 3 videos together. And now it says it's done, and we have our URL here. Let's see if this will work. Cannot get 8080. Let's see if we need to do stories and then slash. No. Okay, so I guess the issue is actually, let's go here, stories, Express. Let's see, we have backend, stories. Do we have this directory? ASA. Yeah, we do. Do we have final MP4? Yes, we do. Do I need to restart my environment so this directory will be available? No, cannot get final MP4. Let's see if I do just this. No. Stories, still nothing. Maybe with only node index.js shouldn't do any difference, but let's try. This was working like, yes, so we can see it works for this Alaska video. Final MP4 8080, so 8080 final MP4. We can see that only the ID differs and nothing else. So let me go back here and let's see, Express static stories. And if I take ID from the Alaska and I put this here, it works. So it's nothing with the port, it's this directory name can't get final MP4. Let's copy this path and let's try again. Now it worked. So something was wrong in the previous path. I don't know. Let's try to run everything once again. So let's restart backend environment and let's pick another story. Maybe this one. No, we already did this one. Microsoft thing. Let's put this and I want to see the backend logs. Let's also open inspect for network tab. And now let's hit create video. And I will like see you in 2 minutes. So we need to first, this needs to be complete. We could also add like a text here underneath. Wait while it can take several minutes to generate a video or something like this, a UX friendly message. So now it's done with preparing the assets. It took 1.9 minutes, as you can see, almost 2 minutes. And now it's running. I don't know how to get rid of this. It was running this build video, but something went wrong. Error reinitializing filters. Let's see. Error reinitializing filters. So that's new. Let's see if we would run this again. Will we have the same issue? Let's start environment. No, let's put this. Let's start again and let's try to run it. All right, so now it looks like it worked, even the redirection. I took like another newsbtc.com a link from here, and it works. The only one small change I did here is we don't need this promise here. It was just for debugging, but for this redirection, I can get rid of it and show you again. Here we have this video response. Basically what we need to do is window location ref, and to redirect to this URL, first we need to get this backend host name, and then we do video response, and then it's data, and that's all. Then it just works. So if let me put and take another URL, I will copy this one, and let's do inspect here, network, and I hope this is the last one, the last test, and it will just work. Let's now hit create video, and now it says generating assets, and on my another screen I just got this browser opened because it's reading the story, and soon it should be done. So it says still generating assets. So we're generating assets. Yes, it's running this. So you can see the query here is still pending because it takes like 1 or 2 minutes. That's why I said it would be nice to have a better text information for the user, and that this process can take 1-2 minutes, so be patient. Something like this. Still running, so I will see you in like a minute. So now it generated the assets. That was pretty fast, 1.2 minutes. Now it's running this build video. So that's why it says preparing your video. And you can see that we are running the second API call, which is now pending. And now it's merging 3 videos together. So it's almost done. So soon we should get the redirection from our this URL to something else. But looks like we didn't. File to set ref property on location is not a valid URL. Okay, so as you can see, small error here. We forgot about slash for the redirection. Let's see, ref and then slash. But yeah, now it will just work. And if we want to just test, we can just add this missing slash here, and we can see that we see the video we have, and I hear the voiceover, even if you don't, and we get those texts here. So everything seems to work. That's all for this video. I hope you learned something useful, and if you did, please click the like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. Have a nice day and see you in the next video.